Danny Kaye led a miserable life. Danny Kaye was born David Daniel Kaminsky on January 18, 1911, in Brooklyn, New York, was one of the most versatile and beloved entertainers of the 20th century. His unique blend of comedic genius, musical talent, and boundless energy made him a household name. Kaye was a man of many talents, actor, singer, dancer, and comedian, with an impeccable gift for mimicry and tongue-twisting songs. He delighted audiences on stage, in films, on radio, and later on television, earning international fame for his performances that combined humor with humanity. Kaye was the son of Ukrainian Jewish immigrants, and his early life was marked by poverty. He dropped out of high school at age 13 and worked a series of odd jobs before finding his way into show business. His start in entertainment was humble. He performed in vaudeville and worked as a comedian in nightclubs. Kaye's big break came in the 1930s when he began performing in Broadway revues, where his sharp wit and rapid-fire delivery caught the attention of critics and audiences alike. His 1941 appearance in the revue Lady in the Dark, in which he performed the show-stopping number, Tchaikovsky, and Other Russians, a song featuring a rapid recital of Russian composers' names, propelled him to stardom. The 1940s and 1950s marked the height of Danny Kaye's film career, during which he starred in a series of beloved musical comedies that showcased his remarkable talents. Movies like The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, 1947, The Inspector General, 1949, Hans Christian Andersen, 1952, and The Court Jester, 1955, are considered classics today. In these films, Kaye combined slapstick humor with clever wordplay, often performing songs filled with complicated lyrics delivered at lightning speed. His performance in The Court Jester, particularly the famous, "The pellet with the poisons in the vessel with the pestle" scene, remains a highlight of cinematic comedy. Beyond his film career, Kaye was also an accomplished singer and dancer, often performing with an infectious enthusiasm that captivated audiences. His songs, such as the aforementioned Tchaikovsky, as well as Inchworm and Wonderful Copenhagen from Hans Christian Andersen, became popular hits. Kaye's ability to move effortlessly between comedy and music made him a unique figure in Hollywood, someone who could entertain both children and adults with equal skill. His stage performances were marked by his unpredictable, improvisational style. He would often engage directly with the audience, making every performance feel fresh and spontaneous. In addition to his work in entertainment, Danny Kaye was also a passionate humanitarian. He used his fame to support various charitable causes, most notably his work with International Children's Emergency Fund. In 1954, Kaye became the first ambassador at large for the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, a position he held for decades. He traveled extensively on behalf of the organization, raising awareness and funds for children in need around the world. His dedication to humanitarian efforts earned him numerous awards, including the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences in 1982. Kaye's versatility extended to the realm of television as well. In the 1960s, he hosted The Danny Kaye Show, a popular variety program that ran for 4 seasons. The show featured Kaye's signature blend of comedy, music, and guest stars, further cementing his status as a beloved entertainer. His television work earned him several Emmy Awards, and he continued to make guest appearances on various programs throughout his career. Kaye was also an accomplished chef and pilot, interests that he pursued with the same energy and passion he brought to his performances. Danny Kaye, renowned for his comedic brilliance and impeccable timing on screen, led a life that, behind the curtain, was marked by deep personal struggles. Though he was adored by audiences worldwide for his humorous roles and exuberant performances, Kaye's personal life was often fraught with emotional challenges and inner turmoil that contradicted his public persona. The man who made millions laugh with his zany antics and musical talents was, in reality, grappling with feelings of dissatisfaction, insecurity, and loneliness throughout much of his life. From an early age, Kaye seemed destined for the spotlight, showing an innate ability to entertain and charm those around him. However, the pressures of stardom took a heavy toll on him. Kaye struggled to maintain a sense of identity apart from his public image, constantly feeling the weight of expectations to be the funny, light-hearted performer he portrayed. This split between the character he played on stage and screen and the person he was behind the scenes created a growing sense of isolation. While audiences saw him as a carefree, joyful entertainer, those who knew him personally often witnessed a man who wrestled with deep emotional issues. Kaye's personal relationships were also affected by the inner turmoil he experienced. His marriage to Sylvia Fine, who was instrumental in shaping his career as both his wife and collaborator, was far from perfect. Though their professional partnership was immensely successful, their personal life was often strained. The marriage, which lasted over 40 years, was punctuated by Kaye's extramarital affairs and long periods of emotional distance. Some have speculated that Kaye's affairs, including a rumored relationship with Sir Laurence Olivier, were an attempt to fill the emotional void he felt in his life. These personal challenges and complexities made maintaining close, intimate relationships difficult for Kaye, leaving him often feeling misunderstood and alone. Despite his on-screen success, Kaye also struggled with self-doubt and a need for validation that never seemed fully satisfied. Throughout his life, he dealt with bouts of depression and anxiety, largely fueled by the pressure to meet the high standards set by both himself and the public. His relentless drive to achieve perfection in his performances often led to feelings of inadequacy, even when he received widespread acclaim. Kaye, who was a perfectionist, found it hard to celebrate his successes and often focused instead on his perceived failures, both in his personal and professional life. In addition to his emotional struggles, Kaye's health also began to deteriorate in later years, further contributing to his sense of misery. In the 1980s, Kaye underwent quadruple bypass surgery after suffering from heart problems, a condition likely exacerbated by years of stress and the demands of his career. Though he continued to work after the surgery, his declining health served as a constant reminder of his mortality, adding another layer to the sense of unease and dissatisfaction that had followed him for much of his life. Even in his final years, Kaye continued to grapple with these internal demons. While the public remembers him for his iconic performances in films like The Court Jester and White Christmas, those close to him knew a man whose life was filled with far more complexity and sadness than his on-screen persona ever revealed. He spent much of his later life seeking solace in various activities, such as his passion for flying planes and his humanitarian work. Yet these pursuits never seemed to provide the sense of fulfillment and peace he sought. In essence, Danny Kaye's life was a paradox. A man who made a career out of bringing joy to others, but who struggled to find true happiness himself. Though he left an indelible mark on the world of entertainment, the laughter and applause he received from audiences could never fully heal the wounds he carried within. His story serves as a poignant reminder that even those who seem to have it all, fame, fortune, and adoration, can suffer from deep personal pain and dissatisfaction. Kaye's personal relationships were also a source of deep unhappiness. His marriage to Sylvia Fine, who was instrumental in shaping his career as a star, was often strained. Though Fine helped write many of Kaye's most successful routines and songs, their marriage was reportedly a troubled one. Rumors of Kaye's infidelity were rampant throughout Hollywood, and he was said to have had numerous affairs, including a long-speculated relationship with Sir Laurence Olivier. These betrayals caused a deep rift in his marriage, and though the couple remained together, their relationship was fraught with tension and unresolved conflict. The emotional distance in his personal life contrasted starkly with the image of warmth and charm he projected to the world. In addition to his marital problems, Kaye reportedly struggled with his own emotional volatility. He was known to have unpredictable mood swings, which made him difficult to work with at times. Those close to him described him as being prone to bouts of anger and depression, and he was often withdrawn and irritable when not in the public eye. His insecurities and inner turmoil frequently manifested in erratic behavior, further alienating him from those around him. Despite his comedic genius and ability to bring joy to audiences, Kaye found it difficult to connect with others on a deep, personal level. Many of his friendships were superficial, and he reportedly had difficulty maintaining close, intimate relationships. Though surrounded by admirers and colleagues, he often felt isolated and alone. This loneliness was compounded by the fact that he could never fully be himself in the public eye. Kaye carefully curated his image, and the pressure to maintain his status as a beloved entertainer left little room for vulnerability or authenticity. As a result, he felt increasingly disconnected from the very people who loved him for his talents. Toward the latter part of his life, Kaye became increasingly disillusioned with his career and the entertainment industry. While he had achieved global fame, performed for royalty, and even been appointed as a UNICEF ambassador, he struggled to find lasting fulfillment in any of these accomplishments. The constant pressure to perform and live up to the high expectations of his audience took a heavy toll on him. The adoration that had once fueled him began to feel like a burden, and he became more withdrawn and detached from the world of show business. Kaye's health also began to decline in his later years, and he became increasingly bitter about the limitations that aging imposed on his abilities. Danny Kaye passed away on March 3, 1987, from a heart attack, leaving behind a legacy that transcends his work in entertainment. To this day, he is remembered not just for his incredible talent but for the joy and laughter he brought to millions of people around the world. His films continue to entertain new generations, and his humanitarian work lives on through the causes he championed. Danny Kaye's life was a testament to the power of laughter and the ability of one person to make a difference in the world, both on and off the stage.